Good morning, YouTube. Happy Monday. So I wanted to share something with you. We did a podcast this past Friday. It went amazing, but there was a very, very special moment that happened, and I really want to share that with you guys. My name is Jonathan Scott. I'm the director of video production at Century 21 Beggins and BE3. I've been renting for I don't know how long. I can't remember exactly how long. Either way, there was a very, very big surprise dropped on me this past Friday. Very, very special moment for me. But there's a lot of value in it for agents and consumers as well. So I just definitely want to make sure that I share that with you. Enjoy the content. Thanks.
Happy Friday, everybody. Century 21 Beggins Enterprises going live. So this is kind of an impromptu, quick podcast because many times this week I've had a lot of people coming to me that were thinking about, should I actually buy? So what we decided to do was have some real life scenarios. And this is Jonathan who works with us, and this is Hannah, his wife, and Nora Lynn, his daughter. And Nora Lynn wanted to take the reins today. It's gonna be real cute. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna short, sweet, to the point about some questions I'm having today. So you guys right now are renting,
Yes.
right? And I wanna talk about the allure of renting for a second. And then we're gonna talk about the doubts, the fears, the anxieties that come into the world about buying, right? So let's talk about the good parts, because I've rented, lots of people have rented, everybody seems to do it at some point. What are some of the biggest pros you guys have that you enjoy about renting? What's the good parts about it?
Do you want to take this one or me?
I mean, I don't have to deal directly with actual taxes.
Okay.
Having to pay, homeowners taxes and things like that at the end of the year. If something's wrong with the house, I can always just call the landlord, have them handle that. I can live pretty much wherever I want. I can bring my family to wherever I want to go.
Okay.
Those are off the top of my head. What do you think
Well,
about me?
let me ask you a quick question. Why do you think you have to pay taxes at the end of the year on a house?
My property taxes?
Yeah.
Just hearsay. I mean, I've never owned a house, so.
Okay, cool. No, this is why why we're doing this, because we'll talk about this a bit later, but that's all rolled into your mortgage payments, right? So there's not like a scary lump sum, oh my gosh, what's going to happen type moment. And that's kind of exactly why we're doing this. I have this all week long, different questions along the way. So let's ask from Hannah's perspective. What is now this is the guy perspective here. Hey, I like the freedom, I like to move around, I like to do all this stuff. Now from you, what's good for you from your perspective?
I think Jonathan hit the big one for me, that we don't really have to take care of a lot of the things. Like for our house, it's kind of older, so things fall apart, and it's kind of nice when our landlord just comes and steps in and takes care of it instead of us. And honestly, that's the biggest thing for me.
So it's the uncertainty. It's not being surprised with maintenance, repairs, and issues.
Yeah.
And
like
stuff
we
like
don't
that.
have to deal with it personally.
What would be good about owning a property from your perspective?
The security,
Okay.
I think, is a big one. We don't have to think about moving within the next year or even 2 years. Like if we actually owned a house, we would be able to stay as long as we wanted.
Okay, that's good. So security, nestability.
Yes,
right?
stability.
Nestability. Because
Yeah.
here's the reality of it. You don't know if your landlord's going to let you stay there next year.
That is true.
And
Yeah.
if he does, you don't know what he's going to charge you next year. And he is under no obligation to re-rent it to you again next year.
Yeah.
Right? So that's got to be somewhere in the back of your head as a countdown clock, as far as, oh man, we like this place. What's going to happen next? Right? So those are the type of things. So some of the pros that I wrote down were you're totally open and you're free. You have no big worries. Your expenses are kind of known. There's no question marks. And Nora Lynn agrees with that one too. So the biggest cons that I've been talking with people all year is you don't know what you're going to do next year. You have no ability to nest. Hannah, being as creative as you are, you can't paint your walls.
I was thinking
right?
that the next one, there's so many things we would like to do with our house, but we can't do stuff like that. We always have to get permission, and a lot of the times, like, we can't do certain things, like even with the place that we own now.
Yeah.
Because we have to ask.
And you're
permission.
wasting money if you do anything to the house because you're going to leave it all sitting there.
Yes, and there's always kind of that, should we pay money if we may possibly get kicked out within a year or two?
That's right. and you don't know, so you do it. So here's a question I have just from your perspectives. What do you think it takes to buy a house? And this is kind of fun for me because I'm totally throwing them on the spot here with no prep here.
Hashtag money.
That's what I was thinking. A lot of money.
Hashtag a lot of money. All right, so what do you think it costs? How much money do you think people have to put down in a house when you buy?
10 to 20%.
Okay, 10 to 20% down. So that automatically kicks into the hell no bucket in your brain.
Yes.
Right, so you're like, I'm not even going to think about buying because I'm just going to go. Right, and Nora Lynn says, that's not cool, Dad. And that's you. So this is interesting. How much home do you think people can afford, or you could afford?
How much home?
How much home? How much of a house do you think you guys could afford? How do you think people determine what that number is? Because it's such a mystifying number out there. You don't really, a lot of people don't know.
I have to be honest, I don't know. I'm not positive about that one.
And this is great. And the reason I have these two here is because they really don't know, because this is not even a thought process. They're happy renting. And a lot of people are until we go over some other points. So I was talking to Chad, you know, we're partners in Discount Loans Mortgage Company. And we do a lot of first-time home buying packages. And here's the thing that I find interesting. And
Me too.
Real.
This is real and raw. VA, if you have any military experience or service, 0% down, right? Conventional financing is what you're talking about, 3% down on a house. So you can get
a lot less than we
3%. So if you buy a $200,000 house, $6,000, right? You could save up the $6,000 and there could be your down payment on a house, right? So it's not 40 grand or 50 grand. And could you see how you could come up with $6,000 over the next 6 months or 9 months or a year?
Definitely.
And then that goes in your down payment bucket, right? And then you figure out what your rent is and apply that to what it is. So here's the things people don't understand. The rent, you know, you're just throwing it away, right? That's something you've at least come to terms with on that one. So what are the advantages payment wise if you actually had a mortgage payment? Do you guys ever think about taxes when you file, or not really right now?
So, I mean, Nora Lynn obviously fairly new. We've been married for not very long, so I think that process is starting to wake up to our idea. So no.
So tax savings and all. So here's the thoughts for me. As you start to grow and your business starts to take off more and more, and you start doing more and more projects with what we're doing, the income grows. You're going to get the tax deductions. You get to write off your interest, right? And you start to get the deductions off your taxable income, so you pay less property income tax on the way. So the other big thing is, since we've got Nora Lynn kind of getting to her point of this deal, let's ask this question, just kind of get into it, because Nora Lynn's getting a little bit antsy over here. Would you guys ever consider buying a house?
Yes.
Right? Okay. What are the biggest things that you would want in the house? Why would you want to buy a house next?
Hannah's business is doing very well. And I mean, we're not making profit on it currently. However, you know, the group is growing, and she does these brunches every month. And the group is growing larger and larger, and our apartment is not big enough to house all those people. So we would like a little bit more of a living space to be able to support her, because you know, she's doing a great thing. That's great. So entertaining and being able to grow the business and entertain people in there. So we'll ask Nora Lynn in a minute, but from your perspective, what would you want in a house? Yeah,
you know, I think Jonathan nailed it, that, you know, we really want space so that we can provide for more people in general.
So more people in general. Nora Lynn, what do you have to say about what do you want a new house for? You want to tell us something here?
What about this?
What does that mean?
Can you read it?
What does that say?
Say out loud, baby.
Big sister? What does that mean? Oh my God.
Congratulations.
Oh my goodness.
So for those of you watching, part of why we did this impromptu is total surprise. Jonathan didn't know they're about to have another baby, so we just wanted to go live and spring this on him right here, real raw, in the point.
Oh my God.
So we had to set up the whole podcast for that. So Nora Lynn is a big sister. Mama and Dad are happy here. So let's get to it and let's start buying a new house. So we'll be peacing out and signing off from right there. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.